Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Parenting Tools podcast. My name is Jason.
And my name is Jordan, and this is the podcast where myself and Jason talk about life as parents, all the ups, downs, twists, turns,
Roundabouts,
giveaways,
dual carriageways,
right of ways, car crashes.
Today's episode, we are joined by special guest, Jess Day.
So this is a special one for me because Jess and Jess's son and my son are in the same class. So me and Jess kind of bumped into each other on the playground doing school drop-off. Jess is currently going through cancer treatment. She's got incurable cancer, as she goes on to explain later in the episode. And so we had a little chat about what that's like, parenting, going through all of that stuff.
Yeah, and it really was. I really enjoyed chatting to Jess. She's so positive.
Yeah.
And this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so this was just a really great conversation to have. And hope you enjoy it.
Let's dive in. Well, hey, Jess, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Just for the listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself, all of that sort of stuff.
Okay, so I'm Jess. What do you want, like age,
Headlines,
sex, location?
ASL.
My name's Jess and I'm 32 and I'm from Derby. So yeah, I'm Jess. I am 32 and I live here in Derby. I'm a mum and I've got breast cancer, which I think is what we're going to talk about today. Yay.
How many kids have you got?
I've got one little boy, Freddie. He's 5.
Oh, wow.
He is in class with Luca.
He is indeed. So I'm excited about this. You're Freddie Day's mum.
I am Freddie Day's mum. That's what I should have started with, isn't it? That's how everybody knows me.
That's how you just know people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you start school.
Yeah.
Just Freddie's mum, Jordan's dad.
Freddie, yes, yeah. Jordan did text me.
Jordan's
He was like,
dad.
Hey, it's Jordan, Luca's dad. Jordan's dad.
That's my dad.
That would be weird.
So you're 32, Freddie's 5.
He is.
And you married?
I am married to a lovely husband. Shout out to Tony.
Big up, Tony.
Big up, Tony.
How long have you guys been together? How long have you been?
Too long. Got that. No, I'm kidding. We met when I was in my second year of uni. So I don't want to admit how long ago that was. I think it's about 12 years. We've been married for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Too long.
And what did you do at uni? So what was like career and stuff before having Freddie?
So at uni, I did film and video production, which
Oh, wow.
I'm obviously putting to great use now with Instagram.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
We'll come back to that.
I like that you're being serious. I'm not. Yeah, that didn't go to plan. But I mean, I was like 18 when you decide what you want to do at uni, aren't you? So
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, you don't know what you want to do at that age.
No, like I look back and I was like an actual child.
Yeah. Like my mum was like, do something that you love. Okay, well, I love making films. That's not reality though, is it?
I love going to the cinema.
Yeah, I like watching TV. So yeah, I did film at uni and then I met Tony in my second year. So that was it. All my prospects were gone and I just wanted to party and hang out with my new boyfriend. So I'm from Cornwall. So I moved up to Derby for uni and I met Tony at Blue Note smoking area. If you're from Derby, you'll know that it is the top place to meet people. It used to be 12 years ago. Yeah, and we got together, fell in love, and that was the end of that. And that was the end of my film career, as you know it.
So you're from Cornwall? I didn't know that.
I am, yeah. Did you not know?
No.
You didn't. What did you think this accent was?
Just south
South
of here.
South of here.
Yeah, Past and Bath. I clocked that in the playground.
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't realise you're from Cornwall. That's lovely.
I am.
Lovely area.
It is lovely.
Do you get back there much?
We're actually going this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Top secret information. Well, it's not really, because we're having time off school, which is not allowed, is it?
No, not anymore.
No. So we've got.
So what are the
3
actual
days.
rules around this? Because I was debating with my wife the other day.
Yeah.
Like, so there's fines,
Yeah.
Are there actual fines, or is it just the threat of a fine?
No, I think they're actual fines. Fines. And fines.
Is it, if you're going on holiday, is it cheaper to pay the fine than to pay the extortionate summer holiday prices?
I think so, yeah.
I bet.
I'm
The
not a fan of
extortionate
this.
October prices.
I'm passionately not a fan of this. I don't like it. I don't like this idea.
No. There's a lot of uproar.
Yeah, well, it's awful because we can't afford to go on holiday out of school time, let alone in school time.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the other way
Other way around. So what was like childhood like and growing up and all that sort of stuff?
Amazing. I feel like my childhood is on such a pedestal. I just look back at it and it's like, like hazy landscapes and just playing on the beach and all that.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was dreamy. We lived in a little cottage at the top of a hill in between a load of fields. We used to play in the fields, run away from the farmer when he'd come in his tractor and, chase the lambs. Oh, it's dreamy. I think I must have blocked out quite a huge part of it to make it sound so. No, it was lovely. It was lovely. My mum's amazing. I've got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and it was just madness. We were just always
family.
Outside. Yeah.
Whereabouts were you in the order?
I'm the middle
Okay.
child. Can you tell?
No.
I don't know what it is about. There's something about a middle child, isn't there? I don't know.
I have no idea.
They get left to it, isn't it? I think
I feel like they're the freer one.
Oh, yeah, now you've
Like
said
my
that,
my elder sister, she's a teacher. That's eldest,
Yeah.
isn't it?
She didn't want to make films.
No. Yeah, see? Teacher, sensible big sister, looking after everyone. And me in the movie life. That I never made it to because I'm a middle child and I can't stick with anything.
We'll blame it on that, yeah.
Yeah.
So 5 of you, so that must have been wild growing up.
Yeah, it was amazing because, we had like they call it blended family these days, don't they?
Okay.
So I've got stepsister, stepbrother, whole sister. Is that what you call it? I don't know. And a half brother. But I don't ever think of them like that. They're just my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So the whole one isn't like top of the tier. She's the teacher. She is. Yeah. So
The complete one.
Yeah. The half brother's not doing so good.
That's really funny. That sounds lovely. I didn't expect to hear we'd be chasing lambs on this.
Yeah.
That sounds really nice. Very
so nice.
Theresa May. Do you remember when she did that?
Yes, running through the fields of
Yeah.
wheat. Yeah, that was me.
Do you remember that?
No.
Someone asked Theresa May, like, what's the naughtiest
was
thing
it
you've ever done?
Frolicking.
And it was, just running through the fields without permission.
Yeah. I would like to make it clear that I have no affiliation with Theresa May or any of the Tory party.
I would quite like to go back to times where that was the biggest scandal.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit political, wasn't it?
Get off my land.
Yeah. Well, it did feel pretty outrageous,
Yeah.
We'd be in the field. So behind our house, my mum could look out the window and see us in the field. Well, that's what she said, but I don't think she was watching us. I think she was just like, off you go out into the field. And, we'd hear the tractor coming up the hill and we'd all have to leg it and hide down by the hedges.
That's lovely.
Exhilarating.
That's really nice.
This is a really random one. Like, do you have any memories from your childhood that you're trying to recreate with your son?
Oh, yeah. Because it's so different, like living, obviously, we're still kind of in the countryside, aren't we? But I don't think you're allowed in any of the fields. I don't think we were then. But yeah, the living by the sea and being by the beach was such a huge part of my childhood. And I'd love to have more of that for Freddie. So that's why we're like, right, get in the car. It's 6 hours and we will make memories and it will be wonderful.
You will enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yes. You love the beach. No, don't be scared of the sea. We love the sea. Yeah, I think it's that just sense of freedom, isn't it?
Yeah.
That I know I had that when I was a kid. You could just do what you want and run free. I want him to have that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's a lot less pressure back then, wasn't there? Than
Yeah.
Being a child than
Yeah, I
compared to being an
feel
adult.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like kids have a lot of pressure on them now.
Yeah.
See, I thought you meant for yourself.
No, well, yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
What do they say about diamonds and pressure? It's not true of me whatsoever. But yeah, I feel like kids just have a lot more pressure these days
Yeah.
with everything, social media. I know our kids are a bit young for that yet, but
Yeah, but that's terrifying, isn't it?
it's coming.
We've got all that to come.
It's coming. So you did mention early on that you've been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
Tell us about that and everything that's going on.
Yeah. So I was diagnosed January 2022. I was diagnosed with what's called secondary breast cancer. So I was diagnosed de novo, is what they call it, which means that it's straight to stage 4. So I found a lump, went into the breast unit and had it checked out. Obviously, I booked an appointment with my GP, went to the breast unit, had it checked out, and then had a scan. And the scan showed that it had spread from the breast to my lymph nodes and into my bones as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but they did say of the places that it can spread to, bones is the best one, really. So, yay!
Probably wasn't as much as a comfort as they were.
No, I was like, what? I don't really. Yeah. So, yeah, if it spreads to like organs and stuff, then that can be further. You're further down the line. But mine spread to my bones. So, secondary breast cancer is when it's spread from the primary source. So if it's primary breast cancer, it's in the primary source. If it's secondary, it's gone to a secondary.
Okay, that makes sense.
Secondary school.
Yep.
Big boy cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So how are you kind of feeling? Like, take us back to that time. So you said you found a lump, you booked an appointment.
Yeah.
What was that sort of process like? Freddie was
Two
2,
and
3
a
around this
half.
time?
Yeah, he was 2.5. So I was still breastfeeding Freddie
Wow.
at 2.5, which is shocking, viewers, listeners.
All depends where you
It's
live.
not. No, yeah. From Cornwall, man. It was never part of the plan, to be honest, but we just had carried on, and I was coming to the point where I wanted to stop. And you guys will know this well. When you're breastfeeding, your breasts can change a lot. So it might feel a bit more lumpy, bumpy kind of thing. So I thought that it was going to be because of breastfeeding. I thought it was going to be like a blocked milk duct or something like that. So when I went to the GP, I wasn't worried. And they weren't worried either because I was young and no family history of breast cancer. She said, well, it's probably going to be fine, but we'll refer you anyway. So went to the referral and they do like an ultrasound, like a bump ultrasound. And I mean, at this point, because I'm an idiot, like you laid there, boobs out with these strangers. And they're doing this ultrasound and I was like looking at the screen and I made some kind of joke that I won't pretend like I can remember it. Some kind of joke about, let me know if you can find a heartbeat or something like that.
Classic.
Classic. Trying to make light of the situation. And they were like, all really serious, obviously. I'm like, this is not usually how I spend my Tuesday afternoons kind of thing. Yeah, awkward. But I like to make jokes in these situations, but apparently they don't really like to make jokes.
You've got to, though.
I mean, if they were making jokes to me and I was serious, it would be...
That would be a bit odd, wouldn't it?
It's a heartbeat. Excuse me? So, yeah, they do this biopsy and then that gets sent off to be tested, different grades. So you get like stages and grades. Grades is how fast the cancer's reproducing. Stages is at what stage it is in your body, whether it's spread.
Okay.
That sort of thing. And then they do a mammogram. So after they did the ultrasound, the consultant literally said to me there and then, looks like breast cancer. This was on the 22nd of December. So just before Christmas, yeah. And I was like, that's not a funny joke. Why are you saying that? That's really strange. Obviously he wasn't joking and I wasn't joking anymore. And then I had to, so after he told me that, I then had to go and have the mammogram. So literally he'd said that and then I have to go back into the waiting room. I hadn't brought anyone with me because I didn't think that there was anything wrong, you know? So I was just sat there like, do I text Tony? Do I like send him a WhatsApp and say, oh, it's probably cancer, let you know in a minute? I did actually do that. I was going to say I did invite it. I did. I just said, just to let you know, like, my mind's blown. I think it's this. So then he's sending me a million messages and I'm like, oh, I've got to go into this next bit, have the mammogram. Spoke to her about it. She was amazing, really lovely. And then off you go. And then you have to wait for those results of the biopsy. So that was over Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just focused on making it the most magical Christmas ever, which is a lot of pressure to put on yourself when you're under that sort of stress.
Well, there's pressure on Christmas anyway, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh, it's my last one. So we've got to make it absolutely perfect in every single way. And life doesn't work like that with a 2.5-year-old. So, I mean, it was lovely. I got through that Christmas, and Boxing Day I was just done. You know, I spent the day in bed on Boxing Day. The boys went out and I was just like, what have I got to face here? What's going to happen? And at that stage, they'd not told me conclusively that it was cancer. They said
it's all speculative. Oh.
Yeah. It's like, they know, because when they're looking on the ultrasound, they're the experts, aren't they? They know what they're looking at. He wouldn't have said that to me if he didn't know. And he was right, obviously. But at that point, Tony and my friends and family were all still like, well, it might not be. You know, you've just got to keep the hope. You've got to keep positive. And I'm not about that. Because, like, what's the point of getting my hopes up when I knew? Because I knew I was the person there. And I was the one that had been told. I knew that it was going to be bad news. So I needed to get my head around that, you know. So I did. They hadn't. So then in January the 3rd, so all through Christmas holidays, basically. January the 3rd, I went in and they told me that, yeah, it's breast cancer. And we've got to do a scan to find out what stage it's at. And then at that point, then you have to wait to book the scan in. And then once the scan's done, it's like 10 days wait for the results. So it's so much limbo, like at the start. You think, well, yeah, cancer, let's get started on treatment. It's not like that. It's to wait to see what's happening and make the plan from there.
That waiting's like, I don't know, like if you like, is it like agony? Like just waiting for just whatever the plan is, just tell me.
Yeah. You just want to know. Just want to know, like, is it chemo? Is it surgery? Is it whatever? You need to just know that, don't you? But yeah, it was. So I started out with chemo, then had a mastectomy and then radiotherapy. And now, because it's secondary breast cancer, which means it's incurable, but it's treatable. So I'm on treatment and I'll be on treatment for the rest of my life. So I'm on hormone treatment and chemo tablets. And that's where I am now.
Gosh, so a bit of a journey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Glad you asked.
And so with your mum head on, how are you juggling all of that? Because we say all the time, you know, parenting is a lot of spinning plates.
Yeah.
And now you've just got this massive plate just
Yeah.
thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with all of that as a mum? How did you tell Freddie? Does he understand all that sort of stuff that's going on?
Yeah, so it's obviously thrown a spanner in the works, but then you have that sort of feeling anyway as a parent, don't you? I feel like there's always new stuff that you've got to deal with. Like, right, they've started biting. What do we do about that?
Yeah.
You know, like they're whatever. Right.
Weekly spelling tests.
Yeah.
That we've suddenly,
That's worse than cancer.
You can't treat spelling tests.
4 times a week we've got to read the same book. It's so boring. Cancer I can deal with. I know how to deal with that. Yeah. I mean, I just thought at the start, I'm just going to be honest with him in an age-appropriate way. And he was 2.5.
Yeah.
So I knew that I needed to stop breastfeeding because I couldn't breastfeed and be on chemo and all the rest of it. I needed to tell him that I'd be losing my hair and everything that comes with that. You know, when you're on chemo, you're exhausted and you're really sick. And I knew that he'd have all that to come and he'd have to get used to like a new mummy. Mm-hmm. So I just told him, I just said, Mummy's got cancer and I'm going to lose my hair. Someone actually said to me, and this is such a good idea, I thought. So getting kids to take medicine's quite tricky, isn't it? Definitely was when Freddie was 2.5. Yeah. So someone said to me, if you say to them, Mummy's going to be having this special medicine and it's going to make her lose her hair, that's not a very good idea when your kid doesn't want to take Calpol.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So this lady had said to me, why don't you say that you've got to have this medicine, it's special medicine for Mummy's cancer, and it's going to make you feel really poorly and really tired, but it's going to help your hair to grow back. So it's something like physical that he could understand, that it felt like it was worth it without having to say, this is life-saving medication and that sort of thing. So, yeah, he's now 5 and probably thinks that chemo helps your hair grow. So,
But he's probably like grown up like quite comfortable around all of that. Because that's quite normal for him.
yeah.
Which again, that will have a huge impact on his life and like how he sees. Like my daughter's like grown up around hospitals and in and out. She just going to the hospital is like normal for her.
Yeah.
And like she asks all the time about if other children have stories about going in ambulance. We're like, no, most children don't.
No.
But it doesn't faze her. Like it's completely normal. Except like today when we tried to give her antibiotics and like I have to hold her down still.
Yeah.
And then I had my father-in-law the other day. We were trying to give it to her and she was squirming. He was trying to help, but he's like, it's not going to be bad. She's going, it's going to be horrible. He's like, it's not going to be bad. And we're like, no, it is going to be bad. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, just don't lie to her. She's fine.
Yeah. It's going to be disgusting. But then you'll be okay after. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. I think he feels like cancer is pretty normal. Like, it's quite sad, obviously. But he said to me, so which other mummies have got cancer? Oh. Yeah, which is rubbish, isn't it? You know, obviously I don't want to say, yeah, they all have. I don't want anybody else to be going through what we're going through, but I want him to kind of have that. He wants to understand that why have they got energy, or why have they not got a bad shoulder, because it's in my shoulder bone the cancer is. You know, why understanding that. But when he started saying stuff like that, I thought, well, that's just another part that I need to deal with. Just need to deal with that little bit on its own. So, you know, that mummy, she's got loads of energy. She's not got cancer. But that mummy, she's not got cancer, but she's not got a lot of energy because she's got a newborn. Or, you know, it's trying to just go with the flow and understand him and go with each step as it comes.
Yeah.
As cheesy as that sounds.
Well, if you're ever looking for another example of a parent that hasn't got cancer but no energy, feel free to throw me in the mix.
That's true, actually. I don't know where he's getting all these energised
Where all
parents
these
from.
energetic parents come from.
I don't know. I think probably his dad. I think, yeah. He's like, well, Daddy can go on runs and Mummy can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is a thing, isn't it? So, like, obviously being parents to young kids, and I know our kids are growing up now a little bit, but you're tired a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And you've just mentioned being exhausted, you know, from treatment and stuff. How does that affect things? If he's like, Mummy, can we go, you know, to the park?
Yeah. I don't really know how I do it. I just do it. I mean, I've had to make a lot of adjustments, and he just gets sick of saying to him, Mummy can't do that because Mummy's not feeling great. You know, it does my head in. It must, like, I know he doesn't like it. So, yeah, Mummy, when we want to go to the park, it's either we can't go to the park today, but we can go tomorrow, or Mummy's just got to get a big girl pants on and go down to the park and just suffer afterwards. I mean, now that he's at school, I find it better because I've got that time in the day where I just need to be resting and getting done whatever needs being done. Getting done whatever needs to be done.
There we go. Appointments,
you know, that sort of thing, and just resting. So then I've got more energy for when I'm spending time with Freddie.
Yeah. And he's the sweetest little boy, isn't he?
He is the best.
He's so sweet.
He is sweet.
Is there anything other than that you kind of approach differently when it comes to parenting or just life in general since being diagnosed?
I think without it sounding too depressing, it definitely makes me grateful, and it makes you sort of look at everyday things with a bit more gratitude. I mean, it's really, really tough, and at times I'm, finding it very tough. But I'm just so grateful to be here with him and try and look for the good things in everything. If that makes sense. It does sound cheesy, doesn't it? And people say that sort of thing all the time about like cancer, and like it's not always like that. I don't want people to think that it is, she puts on a brave face, and it's not always like that. But it is helpful to remind me that I'm lucky to be here, and I don't know how long I'll have, and I want to make the most of it.
Definitely gives you perspective.
Yeah.
And like you have been dealt like a pretty crappy hand, but
you're
still really positive.
Yeah.
Which like is incredible anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just, parenting is hard enough as it is, and then just to add another thing in the mix.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't really have a choice but to keep going.
No, but I think the other thing as well is like, when your child's not very well, and you think, I just want to take it all away from them. I try and remind myself of that. I think, it's me. I can deal with it. At least he's all right. I just want him to be all right, So that's helpful as well. This is all getting a little bit depressing. What was that joke again about the ultrasound?
I've lost my place.
Oh, I forgot we had questions. I'm really sorry.
It's all right.
I'll just pick up.
Yeah, go.
Try and make it a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
So this month is it Cancer Awareness Month or
Breast Cancer
Awareness Month?
Because we don't know what breast cancer is, do we? We all need to be a lot more aware.
I have no idea.
Being sarcastic.
I'm not.
At this point, everybody knows breast cancer, don't they? You hear breast cancer, breast cancer is breast cancer. I think that the most important thing that we need to be talking about is stage 4 breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer, secondary breast cancer. That's the only breast cancer that kills, is the cancer that I've got and that a lot of other women have got. They need to be looking for a cure for that. Because you cure metastatic secondary breast cancer, you cure breast cancer.
What does metastatic mean?
So, I wish you hadn't asked me that. Metastatic is when, I don't know if this is going to be right, but this is my understanding of it, so we'll fact check. When it spreads, you get, so I've got bone metastases. I'm looking at you guys like you're going to bring it to me.
I'm just there going, yeah.
We call it METs. I think it's metastases. So you might get liver mets or lung mets, bone mets. That's when it's spread from the primary location to the secondary location. That's why I prefer to say secondary, because it's easier to say. But metastatic breast cancer, yeah.
And so you posted on your Instagram, which we'll come back to a little bit, that you weren't actively looking for lumps. You just found one when you were in the shower one day.
Yeah.
Is that, we hear like Copperfield and check yourself, and as men we get told to check ourselves regularly.
You should be.
Is that something you really advocate for now?
Absolutely. Like, it's one of those things that I feel like you know it, don't you? You know that you should be checking your breast, checking your chest, checking your balls, checking... Is there anywhere else you're supposed to check? I don't know. Your neck. I saw a thing about checking your neck. Look it up, maybe. But yeah, I kind of knew that on that sort of level. But if I'd been regularly checking once a month without fail, looking for any sort of changes, especially from when you have a child, you do have a lot of breast changes. Breastfeeding, you have breast changes, but you need to be seeing each month if something stays. If I'd thought, right, I found that lump. I mean, I don't know, because if you found it, you just go straight to the GP. But, yeah.
But at least you notice it if you're checking.
Yeah, you need, So if I probably would have found it sooner, wouldn't I? So if I'd not just been having a shower one day and thought, oh, that feels like a lump. if I'd been regularly checking, then maybe I would have found it sooner and maybe it wouldn't have had the chance to spread. So that's so important, is everybody, you're never too young. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or transgender. It's another thing that I'd seen about if you're transgender and you've had top surgery, you still need to be checking because there's still some tissue left. It's not the same as like a mastectomy where they take all of the tissue away. So yeah, everybody needs to be checking. And once a month, Copperfield say feel it on the 1st. That's a good way to remember. Love it.
Oh yeah, that's a good way of remembering.
Yeah.
Because I just thought of February. I thought it's different, but there's always a 1st. When you feel it on the 1st.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's really good. And now you're documenting the journey on Instagram.
Yes, yeah. Because at the start, when I was diagnosed, I said to Tony, or he'd said to me, how are we going to tell people? You know, we've got to tell everyone.
How are you going to use your degree? Yeah. You've got to use it.
Yeah. That should have been the real question, shouldn't it? That's the question on everyone's lips. My mum sending me off to university. When's this film degree going to get used? Yeah, so we'd said, how are we going to tell everyone? And I was like, why don't I just put it on Instagram, you know, as a joke? And then I thought, actually, why don't I put it on Instagram? So I did. And what I thought would be beneficial for us through doing that was that if we bumped into people and they were like, oh, hi, how are you? You don't have to say, oh, you know, I'm all right, but got breast cancer, or, you know, it's not dropping it on people every time you're speaking to somebody. Yeah. Because people don't want to talk about it, do they? And you don't want to catch people off guard. There's never a good time to tell people, and it gives people a chance to prepare how they want to react and what they want to do with that information, because it's upsetting for people. I don't want to just be making people cry all the time. That's no fun. I want to be making people laugh.
So what's your username, your handle?
AnotherDayJess.
AnotherDayJess.
Jess Day. AnotherDayJess. I know, it's good, isn't it?
It is good. I'm all for it.
And I had in mind like another day. Just want to live another day.
Yeah.
Die another day.
Okay.
Another day, Jess. James Bond. I don't know.
Oh, that's really good, Jess. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Have you got any we always ask our guests for any nuggets of wisdom when it comes to parenting. Have you got any nuggets that you'd like to drop on anyone?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say the best thing that I'd ever been given advice on was just add water. So if you... Wait, that's cooking. No, I'm serious. This is a good one. It's a good one. So if you're really stuck in a rut, if you're on one of those days where everyone's kicking off, everyone's stressed, you need to add water into it. So get the kids daytime bath or go in the sea if you live by the sea, which I don't anymore. That's just the point that I bring.
So that makes sense as a southerner statement.
Get out, be next to water, go for a walk down the canal, or get them in the bath, or when it's sunny, get outside, water pistols and water fight. Yeah. Just add water. That's my tip, okay? Why are you not looking impressed?
I'm just thinking, knowing my son, how many situations that doesn't work.
It will work in all of the situations.
Like, mummy, I've lost a finger. All right, cool. Get the soup soaker out. Problem solved. Just squirt it. You're fine.
The sea solves everything.
Just add water.
Just add water.
Add water.
Or maybe have a drink of water. I don't know. There's more to it.
Whiskey and water.
I've seen it on a post. It really resonated with me. I don't think I'm selling it.
No, do some water play.
Yeah.
Throw water on someone.
Yeah.
That eases attention.
Yeah, if they're really kicking off, glass of water. That's what Super Nanny said, isn't it?
Is there anywhere that if people want to donate to, where would you recommend?
Yes, definitely. So Breast Cancer Now are really brilliant. Copperfield are amazing. And that's as far as I'm going to go.
Great.
Yeah, Copperfield, Breast Cancer Now are brilliant charities to donate to. Or my GoFundMe, which is in my bio.
Oh, amazing. Go check out Jess's bio. Another Day Jess.
Another Day Jess.
And go check out the GoFundMe. Jess, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. It's been great.
I'll see you in the playground.
Yes. That doesn't sound weird at all.
Amazing. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to check out Another Day Jess on the socials and show your love and support there. Have an amazing week, and we will be in your ears next week.